My, oh my, Ajayi. It's the coach. This is the 2019 season on EA Sports. Straight ahead, Jay Ajayi, fresh off 100 yards a week ago. Coming up, we'll see the visiting Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Minnesota Vikings. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, is Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 6'5" quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On 1st down, Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. The numbers for him from a week ago. 3 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown.
This defense is ranked near the bottom of the league against the pass. You get the sense that he feels like if he gets covered on any call, he's going to be upset. He thinks he should be open on every snap in this game.
Got him in, complete. This is Richard Rodgers. And mark him down all the way inside the Minnesota 10. It's a big play there for the Eagles. 45 yards.
When the big guy rumbles down the center of the field and he gains leverage on a guy trying to cover him, it is really, really tough for the defender to get through him to make a play on the football. That's why guys love to throw that route down the middle, throw it deep, and let the big guy go get it.
Give him 4 on the carry there. It's 2nd and goal.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20.
And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Jay Ajayi, his 21st touchdown of the season. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team's going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of a team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week, we're not really ready to go. You might run them into the ground that way. That's why getting that early score means a lot.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Leading them out is their 6'2" quarterback who was a 4th-round pick back in 2012, Kirk Cousins.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big, big pickup, and guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down. They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and let down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Love the effort. Love the dramatics. Getting the feet down. How about a little step shuffle along the sideline there, almost like a great ballet dancer or a tap dancer. All for no gain, though?
I was going to say, it's so pretty, and it gets you nothing. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of good.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And the Eagles have recovered.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Now Foles. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. 20, 10. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey with touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the Eagles are able to strike quickly for 6. Elliott good with a PAT, and it's now 14-0. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. The numbers a week ago for Cook. 17 carries, 79 yards. Throwing, Cousins. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. Plenty of scoring here already. We're back to Minneapolis in just a moment.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Taking it about the 36. And now running right through it. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Let's go! Go with 5-3! Go with 5-3!
They run with Ajayi. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. He lost 9 there. That's really going to set him back for 2nd down.
For me, that was an example of why offensive linemen might want rearview mirrors at times, because you have your assignments to block, but if you can see what's going on in the backfield and maybe the guy carrying the ball is headed in another direction, it might change what you do up.
Alshon Jeffrey, touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey becoming just the 2nd player with 30 touchdowns in a single year. And the Eagles add on to their lead. Elliott now to add the extra point. Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now 21-0. Elliott now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. A 1st down throw for Cousins. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Wide open receiver complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one goes for 24 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? An agile move and a nice gain, then dropped at the 25-yard line. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't he?
That he is, and it's funny because I talked with the coaching staff about drills that they do in practice, and one of them is called matching hands. And as soon as that hand is launched by the quarterback, You throw up the opposite hand and match that hand with the QB, and oftentimes you're able to knock it away, as we just saw there.
On third down, Cousins firing quickly here, and that's complete. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Carlson able to put this one through. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with a Giant. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
Now it's a Giant. Check 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
This is a Giant. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. They're just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
Definitely worth taking in our deep shot here. He's already found the end zone twice here in the first half.
Yeah, go back to that same well. They've had trouble containing him, but able to contain him on that play. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
Burks over the middle. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And now prior to this 3rd and 1, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1.
Ram. Down the man inside. Down the man. Ram.
Again, it's Wentz. And Jeffrey's got it. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey ties LT with his 31st touchdown of the year. And the Eagles add 6 to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Elliott now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. Pushes past him. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. So we've reached halftime here, and it's our visitors, the Eagles, leading this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's Schmidt at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and CD in a minute. First, it's time to take a look at what we've got coming your way this weekend in the NFL. In the 1 o'clock games, one that immediately catches the eye is in our nation's capital. A big test for the Redskins, as they'll have to contend with the New England Patriots. In the late afternoon games, one of the best of the bunch will be at Soldier Field in Chicago, where it'll be the Bears taking on the Dallas Cowboys. And one final game to highlight. We wrap things up on Monday Night Football, and they've got a good one this week between the LA Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. In our game, it's been Carson Wentz with a strong first half. His guys are on the road to blow out City. They lead it big. As we send you back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback and a first on offense as we begin the third. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty
create more hype than what is there.
But
this is a real, I'm doing it though. This is a really, they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. On second down. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
This will be fielded at the 17. Spins away. And now running right through it. 21 yards. Well done on the return. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Yeah, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Throwing on first is Wentz. Going to look deep for Jeffrey. And that is caught. And the record is his. It's a touchdown. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
Elliott good with a PAT. And the lead will swell by one more. Elliott now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Cousins to his tight end Rudolph for a Viking first down.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route, but he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it. Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
On the ground, it's Cook. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A great job to hold him to just a yard there. Now it's 4th and goal. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Carlson is good. And that will knock this down to still a very large 29-point deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
And down he goes just beyond the 35, and that pretty move got him some extra space to run. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
Hey, Cadence.
Here's Ajayi. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. And they'll run it here. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And they'll go on the ground. Oh, now he bowls him over. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. He's able to get 6, a nice pickup down to the 21.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Ben Gideon in on the stop.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Elliott now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And out now come the Vikings. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
To throw, Cousins. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. A 2nd down throw for Cousins. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Desperation time. Cousins on fourth down. Nigel Bradham, the linebacker, right there on the coverage. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Wentz going to throw, and he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Paul Warrilow in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Philadelphia, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And now they get the weekend off as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against San Francisco. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
you.